It's Jerry Norton, and in wholesale real estate, there are 5 steps that go from initial contact all the way to contract with a seller. On this video, I'm going to break it down for you using a mind map on the whiteboard. All that and more coming up.
Go to warmleadsdaily.com to get exclusive, warm leads sent to you daily. These leads are ready to go and want a cash offer on their property. Hurry, spots are limited. Go to warmleadsdaily.com now to claim your leads.
In wholesale real estate, the very first thing that we have to do is what we call lead generation, or sometimes I call this finding a deal. And there are really 2 different ways to do this. We can do direct to agent, and under direct to agent, we could go after listed properties, or we could go after pocket listings. Listed would mean that a distressed seller hired a real estate agent, it's on the open market, and we call, negotiate, make an offer. That way, we find the property on market. The second way would be we do outbound marketing to that agent. We reach out to any agent in your area. We explain that we're an investor looking for distressed deals, and they bring you these opportunities off market. So they're not listed, but the agent has the direct communication with that seller. You step in, working with the agent and the seller, and negotiate and contract a deal. Okay, so that's direct to agent. What's cool about direct to agent is it's free. It doesn't cost you any money to get leads that way. Okay, the other way to do it is what we call direct to seller. Now, direct to seller is a whole animal in and of itself because there are a lot of different ways that we can find leads direct to seller. So I broke it down into 2 different areas here. One is inbound marketing, and the other one is outbound marketing. Now, outbound marketing would be where you reach out to the seller. In some form or another, you're reaching out to the seller to see if they have an interest in selling their property. So typically this would be things like texting, cold calling, it could be door knocking, it could be driving for dollars. And another method that I'll share here in a second is what's called WCL, warm call leads. It's a new service provided by PropWire. Now, in order to do outbound marketing, typically what you do is you start with a list of sellers that potentially are in distress. You can get a list like that on propwire.com for free. There's a whole different category, all different kinds of distressed sellers, from probate, bankruptcy, delinquent on taxes, out-of-state owners, tired landlords, pre-foreclosure, and so on and so on. So you acquire that list, you have to skip trace the list and get the phone numbers. Again, you can do that on PropWire for a very minimal cost. There's a gold package where you get 10,000 skip traces per month for, I think it's $119. It's a really great deal. And then once you have the list, the phone numbers, you could do texting, cold calling. So let's talk about cold calling for a second. Usually texting and cold calling go together. There's a couple ways you could cold call. You could do the cold calling yourself, meaning you call all those leads to see if the seller's interested in selling. That's very time intensive, and it's not a real good use of time because you can hire that for pretty inexpensive. You can hire a cold call agency. You're going to be paying for those cold callers. They're on the phones for $5, $6, $8, $10 an hour, whatever it is that you hire them for. It's fairly inexpensive compared to you doing it. You could hire an agency that does that. I like to use Run It Remote. They're a really great agency that does that if you're going to go that route. Now, another option is a service called Warm Call Leads, WCL. And again, this is provided by PropWire. And what they do is they have call centers overseas, and they call in bulk. They call in massive. I'm talking 100,000 leads a month that they generate. And you sign up for the service, and they basically call the sellers for you. They find out that the seller's interested in an offer. They pass that lead to you. And it's really great. For $4.99, $500 a month, you get 10 of these warm leads a day delivered to your inbox. It comes to about 200 in a month. These are leads that have been somewhat pre-qualified. They're just sellers that said, yes, I'm interested in selling. Yes, I'm interested in a cash offer. Great, someone's going to call you in the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay, that's all those are. But what it does is it skips that initial step of you having to cold call, and it just gives you those leads on a daily drip campaign. So it's really nice. Okay, you can check that out if you want to go to warmleadsdaily.com to sign up and learn more about that. Okay, so those are outbound forms of marketing. Inbound would be where you're doing some form of marketing where the seller's looking for you and then they're contacting you, right? So the lead's coming inbound. So it's pretty cool. This would be pay-per-click. That would be Google ads. This could be PPL. That's called pay-per-lead. These are service providers that generate the leads and you buy them on a marketplace. You could do TV and radio, or you could do direct mail. And these are all forms of marketing that's going to get the seller to call you. Now, clearly, if you could choose between the two, Inbound marketing is going to be much more effective because those are high intent sellers that are reaching out to you versus you reaching out to them with outbound marketing. Now, why do we do outbound marketing? Because it's cost effective. It's a lot cheaper to do outbound marketing, but as you grow in your business, if you can start to set aside a marketing budget, you can start to do some inbound marketing and you can get those higher quality leads that cost more, but they're higher conversion leads. Okay, so that's direct to seller. Now, after you generate a lead, step 2 is what we call discovery. So discovery is where you're going to uncover motivation. You have to find out, do I have a distressed seller here? Am I able to work out a deal where I can buy at a discount, where I can make money on the deal? When you start to talk to that seller, you need to know, is this a distressed seller that needs my solution as an investor, where I can come in, create terms and a price that will solve that problem and be able to get a good deal? Okay, that's the very first step once we've generated a lead. Again, we want to look at a couple different things. Is there distress? Is there urgency? Is the property in poor condition? That usually generates a motivated seller. And is the seller willing to accept a discounted price? We usually call this the 4 pillars of motivation. And what I did is I generated a script that asks 10 really important questions that gets to the bottom of all 4 of these things. I'll give that to you for free. I'll put the link in the description below, but you can get that discovery question. I follow that pretty religiously when I do my calls with sellers, and it will really help you uncover that motivation. Once you've done discovery and now you've identified a motivated seller, the third step then would be analysis. And this is where we're going to actually try to determine, well, what would be a good price and terms for this to be a good deal? Typically, this is going to be looking at comps, trying to understand value. It's going to be some sort of analysis on the condition to factor in repairs. So it's running the numbers is what we often call that. And really what we're looking for here when we do analysis is, what is the best solution for the problem that I discovered on the previous step? Okay, now if you're a well-rounded, well-versed wholesaler, then you've got a couple different options. You could offer cash, right? And if there's high equity in the property and you could get a low cash discount on that property, then that would be the first way to analyze the deal is, okay, looks like if I could bring in cash, get them funded and money in their pocket in 2, 3, 4 weeks, that's the best solution for the seller given their condition, their situation. And when we offer cash, or when we contract as a cash offer, there are really 3 different exits if you're a wholesaler. You could do an assignment of contract, you could double close, or you could do a takedown. A takedown is simply where you buy it, fund it, own it, and then resell it on the open market. An assignment is where you're going to flip your contract. Someone's going to step in and close. You don't have to fund it. And a double close is where you close on it for a minute and you turn around and resell it to your buyer, same day or next day. Those all align with a cash offer as a solution to a seller's problem. The next solution could be a novation. Now, novation fits a certain type of seller. It's not a solution for all sellers. That's why we have to analyze and come up with the right solution given the seller's situation. A novation is where you're going to contract with a seller at a certain price, then you're going to take the deal on market and you're going to find a retail buyer that you found on market listed for sale, and then you're going to novate the buyer with your original contract with the seller, meaning the new buyer is going to step in directly with the seller. You're going to switch contracts basically, and you, the wholesaler, make the difference between the buyer and the seller price that you agreed to. Okay, so a few moving parts there. I've got videos that talk all about that. I'll put them in the description below, but we call that a novation. Where is that a good solution? Well, it's a good solution where the seller isn't motivated enough to take that low cash offer. They want more money. It's a fairly clean property that will resell to a retail buyer. And typically it's where the seller is still living in the property and they just want a hands-off solution. So you step in and handle all of it and basically guarantee them their price and they don't have to really do much. Okay, that's a novation. Again, if it's a very narrow bucket of seller, it's not a solution for every single seller. So that's why it's important that you understand when these different strategies are the right solution. Okay, the next one is creative finance. And creative finance, there's lots of creative finance strategies. In fact, a novation sort of is a creative finance strategy. But when I say creative, I'm really talking about 2 main strategies. Seller finance, and that's when the seller owns the property outright. They have no liens or debt on the property. And the seller becomes the bank. They finance you as the borrower. Subject to would be if there's an existing loan on the property and you take over those payments from the seller. And there could be a hybrid of the two. So we could add hybrid right here where it's a combination of subject to and seller finance. That's if they owe on the property, but they also have a lot of equity. So you do a second position seller finance. Again, I talk about all of these strategies on my YouTube channel. Guys, if you just go to my playlist and you search these different topics, you'll find all kinds of videos. Every single thing here on this whiteboard I talk about extensively for years and years and years on my YouTube channel. That's why I have 500,000 subscribers, and it's the best channel in real estate for wholesaling and flipping. Creative finance could be a solution. When is that a good solution? They're willing to wait to get some or all of their money. They don't need cashed out up front, and they can wait. So then what you do is you set up terms with the creative finance. That allows them to get the money over time and allows you to usually pay more than you could if it was cash or an ovation, because you're not trying to exit out of the deal today. You're waiting in time, you're going to pay them off. The last one isn't really a wholesale strategy, but it is an exit strategy. And this is to just list it for the seller. Now you have to have a license to do that. I'm licensed and we do this quite often. And this is really the solution for this is when the seller just wants retail. They don't want creative. They don't want innovation. They don't want a low cash offer. They're not really that motivated. But here you are, you've generated the lead and you're talking to them and they just want to sell it. So you list it. And if you have a license, you either list it yourself and get a full commission, or you can refer that to an agent, again, only if you're licensed, and you can get a referral fee for that listing. Boy, I make 6 figures a year just listing properties, and it's super easy to do. So like, I'm a big fan of getting your license and listing, but again, that's my last ditch effort once there's none of these solutions are the right thing. Okay, so after we've done analysis, step 4 would be then to offer and negotiate. Now I follow a very simple process. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the seller to name their price first. Usually it's going to be what I call a pie in the sky number, meaning they're going to give you a number that is retail or really high. And then what I do is I like to offer a low anchor, and this has to be a very low offer. It needs to be a ballpark, meaning it's not concrete. I would say something like I need to be around 100,000. I need to be in the high 200,000s. I need to be somewhere under 50,000, whatever. I'm going to give it a range. It also has to solicit a no. Has to be ridiculously low that the seller says no. When they say no, I say, I get it. That's my price in a perfect world, but how close to that can you get? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them to go from pie in the sky down to reality. And then I'm going to work up from my low anchor and I'm going to try to settle at a number that I feel really good about. So again, I do videos all about how to do this. It's an extremely effective way to negotiate and contract with sellers. And then the 5th step, once you've agreed on price and terms, is going to be the paperwork. And again, the paperwork is going to be dependent on your exit strategy during your analysis phase. What strategy are we doing? Am I doing an assignment, a double close, a takedown, an ovation, a creative finance? Whichever one of these strategies that I decide to do is going to be the appropriate paperwork that we're going to use. And again, guys, I give away most of my paperwork for free. I'll put those links in the description below. And again, you can search my channel for videos where I explain all about how to actually fill out the paperwork, paragraph by paragraph, item by item, so that you know how to do that. Following these 5 steps, you're going from initial contact with a lead all the way to contract, signing, and then of course we need to move into our exit, which is going to be disposition, finding our buyer, or whatever strategy we're doing. Okay, but this video is focused on that initial acquisition process is what really this is. So guys, I hope this gives you a really good overview. I hope you guys can kind of see the big picture. What I find super helpful is if I understand the big picture, then now I can deep dive each one of these different areas and get better and better at my craft. And that's what I recommend you do. These are the 5 steps really to what it takes to get a good deal. And again, guys, go ahead and check out WCL. Go to Warm Leads Daily. It's a phenomenal service. It's going to get you 200 warm leads a month for $499. It's a phenomenal service. It's a great way to get a very low cost outbound marketing strategy going. These leads are nationwide and they are exclusive, meaning we don't sell them to anybody else. Once you get your list, you're the only one that gets that list. So check that out. Go to warmleadsdaily.com. Thanks guys. I'll see you on the next video.